Welcome back, you guys, and yeah, it's been a while since my last upload, but forget all that, we're back, and I hope you guys find this first video back interesting. Last year, I did this exact video for NBA players that will be more known in 2018, and I think I did pretty well. We definitely hit on DeJounte Murray, who was picked to the all-defensive second team, Robert Covington, who was selected to an all-defensive team, Jaylen Brown, who broke out as a two-way player for Boston, and Clint Capela, who just got a $90 million contract. Not everyone on this list is going to break out stats-wise, but I believe everyone on here will become more known around NBA fans. Let me know if I missed a player in the comments, and let's get right into it. First on the list, we got Josh Hart. He is a second-year shooting guard standing at 6'5" for the Los Angeles Lakers. He will probably be the backup shooting guard at the start of the year. I talked about Josh back on this channel, I believe in January. This was when Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was playing bad, and I thought Josh Hart was playing well enough to where I thought he should have been the starter. He had a really good February of this past season. He was averaging 12 points, 7 rebounds, shot 51% from the field, and shot 49% at the three-point line. He's pretty good at catch and shoot threes, he's a decent defender, and an underrated rebounder at the guard position. I think all of the young Lakers players will benefit playing next to LeBron, but Hart might benefit the most because he's a catch and shoot player. Josh is going to get a number of open shots that he was not getting last year because of LeBron's vision and ability to attract extra defensive attention. I do worry about the minute situation with KCP and Lance Stephenson. I know Lance can play small forward, but I would hope that Josh Hart gets more than the 23 minutes per game he got last year. It's simple, he's a smart role player that can shoot and defend. Those guys thrive next to LeBron. Plus, he's been working on his off-the-dribble game in Summer League, so if he can add that to his three-point shooting and defensive skills, he will be okay. I'm expecting Josh to have a big year. Next, we have Jarrett Allen. He was the 22nd pick for the Brooklyn Nets in the 2017 NBA Draft. He is 6'11" with a massive 7'5" wingspan. He was a nice surprise for Brooklyn this year as a screen setter, shot blocker, and finisher at the rim. He learned how to play his role very fast over the season, which was why he was able to get minutes early on as a 19-year-old. Jarrett was looked at as a guy who was going to be in the G League for most of the year, but he was able to stay on the court and even get starter minutes. In the last 7 games of the year, he averaged 3 blocks per game. The Nets traded away Tyler Zeller and Timothy Mozgov, so Jarrett will have more time as a starter this year. Remember, Brooklyn also has Kenneth Faried and Ed Davis as reserves to help out. I think a lot of people got to remember that he just turned 20 years old. He's really just learning the ins and outs of being an NBA center. He does not have much range as a shooter, but he has skills at the center spot that will keep him on the floor in this small ball era. He's mobile, can explode off 1 or 2 feet, and block shots. The Brooklyn Nets will not be good, but I'm expecting at least 50 starts from Allen and more alley-oop highlights with D'Angelo Russell that should get him more known among casual fans. Third on the list, we have Josh Richardson. He's a shooting guard or small forward depending on the lineup for the Miami Heat. He broke out a bit this year, but he has more room to grow on the court and with fans. People always talk about underrated players. Josh Richardson is legitimately an underrated player. I thought 2K kinda underrated him for his rating in next month's game, but that might be for another video. At 6'6", 200 pounds, Josh grew into a role of a defensive stopper and catch and shoot three-point man for the Heat. He should have gotten onto an all-NBA defensive team this year in my opinion. One game you'll see him defend Kyrie Irving, then 2 nights later he might be defending Aaron Gordon, who is 6'10". Josh is a very trustworthy defender for Miami. They rely on him to do a lot on defense and offense too. In the month of December 2017, he put up 17 points, 3 assists, shot 54% from the field, and 47% on threes. In that month, the Heat dealt with a lot of injuries, and he was able to step up as a playmaker and scorer. Even with Dion Waiters coming back, I think Josh will grow into a bigger role on offense. He's already known amongst people who really know the league, but I'm expecting him to get on an all-defensive team this year and get more time to create offense for himself. Next, we got Malik Monk of the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets had a very weird season. They had Malik Monk playing in the G League for parts of the year and had Michael Carter-Williams getting minutes over him. Now, Monk was not good early on as a shooter and defender, but I never thought he was being put in the right spots. The Hornets weren't making the playoffs anyway, so you might as well give Monk a shot, and thankfully by the end of the year, he was showing what kind of player he can eventually be. In only 25 minutes per game in the final month of the 2018 season, Malik averaged 20 points, 4 assists, and shot 48% from the field and 41% on threes. As the 6th or 7th man this year, he's going to be playing with Tony Parker in the bench lineup, which will be good for his development. He'll be able to play off of Tony and learn from an NBA champion for the next year. Not many players get that opportunity. I would hate to see him get inconsistent minutes again this year because I think he needs to get thrown into the fire. I'm expecting at least 12 to 14 points per game for Malik this year. Next on the list we have Cedi Osman, and I think he's going to have a good year in my opinion because there is an open spot now at small forward in Cleveland. That means a lot more opportunity to defend the best wings in the East and create offense. Playing with LeBron, Cedi didn't have the opportunity to use several possessions in a row as a guy that can be a pick and roll ball handler. For one, he wasn't really ready to do that. He's skilled but not polished yet to do it consistently on an NBA level. Well, this year he'll be able to make a ton of mistakes without the pressure of having to get a top seed in the East and make the playoffs. He's probably going to start, so I don't see why he can't put up at least 10 points per game and 3 assists. There's going to be so many possessions for him to do stuff. I don't want to put this energy into the air, but if Kevin Love gets another injury, Cedi's going to be able to chuck and do a lot of stuff on offense. I'm expecting a good year from him. Next we got James Ennis of the Houston Rockets. He played for the Grizzlies and Pistons in the last few years. One thing going for James is that he has playoff experience and he has experience on a great defensive team in Memphis. This upcoming season won't be his first time in the playoffs. With the Grizzlies in the 2017 playoffs, he defended Kawhi Leonard and played 26 minutes per game in that first round series. He's not spectacular or anything as a player, but at 6'7" and 210 pounds, his skill set as a guy who can make threes and defend is needed on the Rockets. He is definitely a downgrade from Trevor Ariza, but he might be a slight upgrade from Luka Mbamute. He's going to be coming off the bench, so... For one, James can actually make a 3-point shot, and Mbamute was pretty much unplayable in the playoffs because he couldn't make a layup or make a 3. He's not going to have amazing stats obviously, but on the Rockets, who will be on national TV a lot and playing deep into the playoffs, I'd expect to see James on the court for critical moments, which will get him more known. Next we have Jerami Grant, who just re-signed with the Thunder this past summer at $27 million for the next 3 years. I'm not 100% confident here because Patrick Patterson will probably be the starter, plus Nerlens Noel will be getting some of those center minutes for OKC. But on the other side of it, I'm confident in Grant's ability because Melo is gone and that'll give him more opportunity in the forward spot. He didn't make many threes, but he made them at a decent rate after the All-Star break and showed he can take some players off the dribble. He is not consistent in either of those areas, but again, with Melo gone, he's going to have extra opportunities. A big part of why I have Jerami in here is because once the 2019 playoffs start, he's going to have a nice role as a defensive player. Last on the list we have Mike Muscala. He's a 6'11" power forward that played with the Hawks but is now on the Philadelphia 76ers. He was traded to Philly over the summer. Mike's skill set as a 3-point shooter at the power forward spot on Philly is going to be big because they need as much spacing as possible next to Simmons and Embiid. Mike shot 37% on threes last season. His stats are going to stay the same probably, but now those 3-pointers will be seen on a team that is going to be on national TV a lot. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to be productive next to Ben Simmons and Embiid. Again, I don't think he's going to break out as some type of Ryan Anderson player, but just being on a good team will get him more known around the league. Making 2 threes in a Sixers playoff game is a lot different from doing it on a bad Hawks team. And that is it for NBA players that I think will become more known in the next season. Let me know if you disagree or which players you actually agree with on this list. Again, if there's any players that I did not have on here that you think that should have been on here, then let me know in the comments. Sorry for the delay on videos, but you'll see more of them throughout the month, so I appreciate it if you're still sticking around, and I'll see you guys next time.